on the police or the National Guard, they'll be
All right, let's
talking about something longer than a couple days. If this happens 6 to 9 months, then again, it amplifies it, 1,000 to a million fold. So if we truly have an outage that is nationwide, that lasts 9 months, the EMP Commission, which is a commission that was mandated by U.S. Congress, and it has much more authority and better funding than a congressional committee. They found that as many as 90% of Americans would die.
90% of Americans, what's 90% of 360 million people?
So it's like 300 million. So
300 million people wiped off the map just like that. And how long did you say that would take?
9 months.
9 months?
That was the metric that the EMP Commission utilized.
And what does it look like if our power grid goes down?
So it really becomes almost zombie apocalypse, and it's horrific because we think about loosening the rule of law. And so we have George Carlin, a clip from, one of his comedy tours in a movie. And he says, you can't count on the police or the National Guard. They'll be at home protecting their own family. And that's exactly true.
I don't think people realize how much chaos and how miserable it will become when the power grid goes down. And just, I've known this is coming for a long time. And when I first started looking into it, me and my wife lived in Florida. We went through a hurricane, and anybody who lives in Florida, the population just continues to increase and increase. And now after 2020 and COVID, with all the mandates, all these people that want freedom are just pouring in there like it's nobody's business. And well, we moved up here about 5 years ago to Tennessee, and we went through a hurricane. Here's what happens in a hurricane. If anybody's been through one, they obviously know, but grocery stores are completely wiped out within about 48 hours of a hurricane coming. Just the news alone, people go into panic mode, and there goes all the water, there goes all the bread, there goes all the meat, all the frozen food, all the vegetables, anything you can think of, it's gone. Gasoline, gone. The lines go around, the lines can be over a mile long sometimes. Plywood, gone. Why do you need plywood? To keep looters out and to keep debris that the hurricane's going to throw at your house from breaking windows. All the plywood's gone. All the generators are gone because everybody knows the power's going to go out. Everything that you can think, you can't even escape it because I believe it was Matthew, there was a stop and go traffic jam on Highway 95, and that went all the way from Miami to Atlanta, Georgia. Stop and go traffic. There is no escape. And so when we went through that, that hurricane, if I remember correctly, that wound up being kind of over embellished by the news, but it did paint a picture of what it's going to be like with all these new people. I mean, Florida's worried that they're not going to be able to flush the toilets in a couple of years. There's so many people down there now. So we moved up here.
Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory. Honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'm allowed to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the whole elect. Noise in this gospel, bro. Living up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. What you saw here was a clip that was put up about a brother. I guess it says ambassadors of the news. Destruction will reign supreme. I guess I'm assuming this is a TikTok channel going into the grid outages and the EMP solar flare attacks and attack on the grid, which, they've been speaking about cybersecurity and, and all this other stuff for years now. Okay. They've been doing blackout drills. They've been doing Jade Ham drills. They've been taking into consideration of other countries coming to attack the United States grid, which is the power stores that we're pretty much operating on. Okay, 95% of the people in this country lives on the grid. Okay, you got a smartphone, you got TV, you got electricity, you got bills that come in your name. That's considered being on the grid, because that way Esau is able to monopolize and capitalize off people's oppression by sending them bills every month, energy bills, light bills, gas bills, you know what I'm saying? Sending these particular things every month and capitalizing off people because they're on the grid. But in the ancient world, there was no such thing. Okay, people lived independent. They had independent farming. They had their own marketplaces. They own, how can I say? They had their own, marketplaces, and sold their own products and tilled their own lands and had their own farms instead of a grocery store. Okay, in the ancient world, the concept of your grocery store would be like a local market or something like that, when people actually sell goods and items in the marketplaces. They'll take the leftovers from their land and they'll take it to the marketplace to make them some shekels. And even then, when you have land in the ancient world, when you plant the crops and you pick the crops and your particular goods for the harvest, you leave some for the poor. Okay, that way it was like a welfare system. Okay, you have some for the poor. That way they can come and pick off the edge of your garden or your land, and they can get what they need for the time being for their families. But nowadays, you got freaking grocery stores, you have restaurants, fast food restaurants, and you have to pay for all these things, man. Okay, and the welfare system that they have up is ran by the government, which is known as welfare, or child support, or food stamps, or they call it EBT, and Social Security, all these things. Okay, which that's wickedness. But regardless of that, the outage, the grid strikes, is prophecy according to the scriptures. Now, I believe like 2 weeks ago, a video came out about how 50 senators or something like that of these or administrations of these government administrations, I believe it was like 50 or 60 of these men were political candidates that received these particular satellite phones, which when you look up the satellite phones, they're able to operate in a time of a crisis. And we're in the middle of a banking crisis, an economic crisis. And for them to reset everything digitally, so they may, stage some type of attack, or, to make it sound like the Russians or the Chinese or whoever is attacking the power grid, when in fact, this is nothing but Esau Edom doing it for nefarious means to push his agenda. Okay, so they made a lot of excellent points. The grid goes down, there will be chaos, there will be riots, there will be fires, there will be looting, there will be robbery, there will be rape, there will be murder. Okay, it would be like a purge all over again. Okay, going back to that movie, The Forever Purge. After the initial purge, a tweet went around on Facebook or Twitter or whatever platform they were using to continue the purge. And before you know it, that one Facebook or tweet sparked the whole country going up in flames, to the point that the people of America, they had to flee to Mexico because the purge got so bad here. And we're telling you, brothers, man, and you few sisters that watch, these things are coming, okay, sooner than what we know, because Esau is running out of time. Okay, he's going to plunge this place into utter darkness. One day we're going to wake up and there's going to be a whole different Babylon, man. Okay, ain't going to be that typical 9 to 5 you do, that family vacation, you going to the family barbecue with a picnic and you're riding your bike. No, man, that's setting up the infrastructure, because they're getting ready to do away with this old system. Okay, and we've been trying to tell you Israelites this, but Israelites want to party and bullshit and play games and twerk and all this other madness. But this coming banking system, however they're going to institute it, because we know Fed now is to go into play July 1st. So however that works, whatever they do, they're going to do. All right. But eventually we will get to this point when they're going to start to cut the power. Okay. Now I came across another video on this platform as well. Now I don't know how true this is. I have no particular source to trace it from. But see, it's one thing about you TikTok prophets, and you TikTok niggas, man, you're something else, man. Okay, here you get a whiff of future events. Here you watch a couple of Hebrew Israelite videos, and then you want to assume that you're the prophets. None of you niggas went out there and talked. You didn't build up the nation. You ain't calling on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But everybody and their mother want to be some type of seer now. Okay, and you see this information, and then you report on it without any substantial evidence. Okay, now you could say the same thing about this clip too, but see, the thing of this is Bible prophecy, and we filter everything through the scriptures, man. Okay, so it says emergency system broadcast activation imminent. The EBS will involve 3 to 12 days of worldwide communication darkness. It says phones, internet, credit cards, debit cards, and ATMs will not work. While 3 8-hour documentaries said a day will be broadcast, such and such. I don't know. Let's just listen to what he's saying, because I can't trace the source back. I don't know where this came from, if this is just like a satire or what. But going back into this particular video, you could clearly see that even though what he's saying may be just some concocted madness, this in fact is the truth, man, because the scriptures goes into it. All right, so let's see what this guy got to say. Let's see what he got to say.
Did you hear the news? Check this out. They ain't told you nothing, but I'm here telling you. They just posted this today.
Who? Okay, who posted it? Okay, give away your source, man. You know, see, that's another thing about Jake. Jake could Google some shit, and then all of a sudden they on the level. No, man. Okay, the Lord ain't coming to you and giving you these revelations, man. But see, everybody and their mother, they trying to get fame off the prophets. But the Most High is going to shut this shit down, because the men of the Lord will be exalted. Not you Johnny-come-ladies, you stragglers that want to wake up one day and decide to report. No, man, you got to be inspired by the Holy Spirit, which clearly you're not. But nonetheless, this is good information. But and it's common sense that if the grid goes down, this will happen. But he's not giving us a source. But let's see anyway what he's saying.
So, did you hear the news? Check this out. They ain't told you nothing, but I'm here telling you. They just posted this today. So,
see, Jake think everything is a goddamn joke, man. All right, because like when you go in the comments here, he said, where did they post it? And it says, this looked like a created text message that was a screenshot. You know, but people saying they have some orange things on our power lines. It just rained a little yesterday. No thunder, no lightning, but the lights went out. So there are power outages throughout the country. But as far as on a massive scale, and they asked him questions, say, can you please let me know where you found this? I've been waiting for it to drop. See, but he's not. He said, I found it on a sketchy website. So sketchy, I'm changing out my password. He said, it's not real. If the government posted, we all would have seen it, right? But the point about it is, if this does go down, it will be, you know what I'm saying, essential to, you know, food, water, all these things. Because, I mean, this is what they're saying here as well. All right? But never mind that. But let's get into the precepts real quick. A couple of scriptures, nothing too deep. Because, hey, man, we're in them times, brother. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra 16. And I'm going to start at verses 21. It says, behold, victory should be so good, cheap upon earth, that they should think themselves to be in good case. When Trump was in office, gas was $1.99, man. You know, everybody was doing well. You know, everybody got stimmies. You know what I'm saying? You got the 1,200. You got the 1,200, 1,200, and you got like the 600 one, I believe, $600 one. You know, jobs. I want to say the economy was in tip-top shape. But, you know, the downturn wasn't as imminent as it is now. Okay? They had to vote on pretty much raising the debt ceiling, which I'm not sure the official agreements they came with. I didn't watch on it today. But I was reading a couple of different articles last week about how they can suspend the debt ceiling until next election, or they're going to temporarily raise it, but they got to cut back on all these programs. But yet they still sending billions of dollars of aid to Ukraine and trillions of dollars to Israel, and, you know, spending money on the military. You know, these things, they're cutting down on everything else, but they're sending money to these other places. Okay. But it says they should think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And if we had a blackout, you better believe that eventually that's going to bring in the famine and the pestilence. Okay. Because without electricity and proper maintaining of the crops, they're going to die off. Okay. Because like in the ancient world, of course, you know, you tilled the land, you had the sun, you know, so you had particular ways you tilled your crops, and, you know, you processed your things, not through Esau's way of processing, but you had a way of dealing with the land side versus today. Everything is chemically enhanced. You know, like the apples, the oranges, the grapes, the grapefruits, and the watermelons. All these things are pretty much shrouded with chemicals, man. So you don't have those particular forever chemicals and you shut down these processing centers, the shit ain't gonna really be no good. It's gonna pretty much die away overnight. All right. But it says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth should perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger should the sword destroy. And the dead should be cast out as dung. And this is what he was saying. He said in 9 months, 308 million people will die here in America. Okay. Which the elect will survive this ordeal, because the scriptures say no judgment should come, no plague should come near thy dwelling place. So even then, we're going to be straight when all hell break loose. But it's the wicked of our people and the 2/3 that have everything to worry about, because they're not right with the Heavenly Father. But it says, and there should be no man left to comfort them. And for the earth should be wasted, and the city should be casted down. Okay, so when blackouts commence, grids go down, martial law, they're going to enact the police force to bring an order to the chaos. Okay, but even then, people are going to take matters into their own hands, because these people, they're looking for a reason to lose their marbles, man. All right, these people are looking for a reason to go put one in a motherfucker, because people are going nuts, man. Like I was on a bus today doing some community work, just going around passing out little flyers and stuff, for programs they offering. And, it was getting ready to be a fight. They was going to jump off on the bus, man. And it was just like that. Everybody just on edge. They don't have optimists about the future. They're pretty much, they're depleted of that. Okay, because this current administration has pretty much sold the people a wet dream. Okay, everybody thought that this country was just going to go back to the good old days when Obama was in office, and prior to that, they thought that this guy, Jim Crow Joe, they thought he was going to make America great again. They were so hell-bent on getting this guy Trump out of office to the point they don't realize they just put an even bigger demon in there. Okay, because Biden ain't got your best interest, nor does Trump. You know what I'm saying? But Jake was so hell-bent on hating Trump because of a few punk-ass things he said online on Twitter. And a lot of things he said made sense. But, Jake has been conditioned to hate Trump because he's a racist. But Biden is a fucking racist. A couple of tweets get exposed. Oh, well, you feel on a woman's fucking clitoris and then feel on her titties, and you're the worst thing in the world. But yet this man, Joe Biden, his own daughter has fucking rape allegations against him. But who's talking about that? His own son, crackhead, was funding biolabs in the fucking Ukraine to use as chemical warfare on the Russians. But who's speaking about that? Where you niggas at talking about that? Or you just concerned with getting another stimmy and getting child support and giving women even more fucking rights that they don't need? Crazy, man. And it says there should be no man left to till the earth and to sow it, and the trees should give fruit, and who should gather them, right? Because the dead is going to be casted out, man. Okay, a lot of death is coming to this society. You can see why. I mean, it's completely out. Kansas City, I didn't know. Brother brought it out this weekend. Kansas City is pretty much a refuge city for moles. Okay, like people that ban they don't deal with the same sex practices and different, states to get their shit chopped off. They can come to Kansas City, and Kansas City will allow them to get the operations done to it. Makes sense why there's a heavy mobile presence here. Okay, this shit is crazy, man. And I see why the Lord got to bring judgment. The Lord needs to cut the power to this place, man. Let these people suffer, because they're proud as hell. And it says, and the grapes should ripen, who should tread them? It says, for all the places should be desolate of men, so that one man should desire to see another and hear his voice, right? Because like I said, man, the scriptures go into, there should be 10 left of a city. So just imagine a Kansas City, a city with 2 million people population, okay, in the surrounding areas. That's with the suburbs including. But 2 million people gets dwindled down to 5,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people. If only 100,000 people resided in this city, you're really shit. Honestly, I mean, that's compared to 10 people, because 100,000 people in a big city like this is like next to none. And you got dead bodies laid out everywhere. That's going to be a reality here in a little bit, especially when they try to get this new system up and running. So however they're going to do it, they're going to do it, but we're going to wait and see. And it says, for of a city there should be 10 left, and 2 of the field, and they should hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks, man, right? Because all the hell that's coming. People's going to want to escape the damnation. They're going to escape the judgment. You know what I'm saying? And when you cut the food supply here, that's a wrap. You cut the food supply here in Babylon, these people are going to lose it, because these people are driven by their strenuous appetites. Okay, that's what drive the American people: wine and dining, bread and circus. You take away all that folly, these people, man, they'll lose it. All right, Revelation 16, and I'm gonna start at verses 10, and it says here, and the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their teeth for pain. Okay, now let's look up the word darkness. Darkness. All right. It goes to skoto, which means to darken, to cover with darkness, to be darkened in the blind of the mind. Okay, meaning in a desolate state, like Isaiah 25:7, he should destroy in this mountain the covering cast, roughly paraphrasing it, that spread a veil over the nations. People in gross darkness because they're thinking in their deeds. But it's going to be a physical darkness as well. Okay, because it tells you in the, matter of fact, when you pull that real quick, it tells you in the book of Exodus, the 10th chapter, all right, that there's a darkness that can be felt. And that goes into them demonic apparitions because the Lord said he sent evil angels among those Egyptians. And will make you think he's not going to do it again. Okay, because the elect, we're going to be in a spiritual Goshen. Okay, which the province of Goshen, we had light there versus the rest of the principalities of the land of Egypt. Now this time, you 2/3, you're going to be, the Lord look at you as heathens. So he's not going to put that veil of protection over you because you didn't take heed to the warning, but you chose to delight in wickedness, man. All right. Exodus 10:21, it says, and Yahweh said it to Moses, stretch out thy hand towards heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. And that felt, metaphorically speaking, goes into those apparitions, man. Okay, those demons plaguing your mind. Okay, like that song where the Ghetto Boys said, my mind is playing tricks on me. You literally going to be high off the fear of those demons plaguing your mind. And even then, when darkness is that thick and dense, you can actually feel it. Okay, go down to the Ozarks and go into one of those state parks late at night, around 10 o'clock at night with no light. I mean, you're going to feel like you're being swallowed up in a vortex, man. Because darkness, that shit has a spirit to it, man. Okay, and it says, and Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was thick darkness. It says thick darkness in all the land Egypt 3 days, man. And they saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwelling places, man. Okay, so this time the elect is gonna have the light, which is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Kakodash. And with that, shalom and above. Shalom.